Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Kim aka Lego Artisan. In this video, we have here the new hospital, which was released back in January 2021. PDF instructions for the mock that I designed a while ago, and about 60% of the extra parts that we need to turn this into a half base plate modular building. I was about to purchase the rest of the parts that I needed to build for this mock, but then I went around and looked at my Lego town, and I thought that I wasn't optimizing it enough, especially with the extra parts that we have here on the sides. So I challenged myself to build this mock while also utilizing the parts that I have now and avoid purchasing any more parts that I need to be able to build the mock. This is one of the ways that I want to optimize the Lego town, is to reduce the number of extra parts that aren't being used in the Lego town. The way I do this is by checking the MOCs that I have. For example, this one, it has a bunch of white parts that may be changed into a different color, or some of the plates or bricks that are being used in the unofficial sets. I don't replace or take away from the official sets, like for example the assembly square or the Parisian restaurant, but for the MOCs that I have that aren't official, let's say the outdoors sports shop, there might be parts there that I can utilize and replace with other colors that won't necessarily affect the design. So for me, that's how I optimize my Lego town and reduce the cost that I have for building it up and making it into what it is now. I hope you also try to do this in your Lego town and find ways to reduce the unused parts that we have in our cities or towns. With that in mind, let's get started with this mock. And here we are with most of the parts disassembled. And just like my other designs, I've kept the mini builds, which I know I will be reusing for the mock, intact, so that I don't have to reassemble them later on. It makes the build much faster, and it reduces the extra parts that you have just lying around. As you can see now here, I have a 32 by 32 base plate, and you might be wondering, well, it's a half base plate modular, so why put it in a 32 base plate? That's because I know at some point I will end up putting another building beside the medical clinic, or if I'm lucky enough to buy another set like this, I might mirror build the mock and turn it into a proper hospital and have a decent sized hospital to cater to the needs of my Lego citizens. So that's how it is, and again, I encourage you to use the parts that you have in your collection first before buying extra parts that you might end up not using at all. This is just how I work, not just in Lego, but in real life, wherein I try to maximize the resources that I have, especially in work. We all know how that feels when we try to maximize everything that we have, especially time and resources. So, with that in mind, again, let's start building the medical clinic mock. And here we are with the progress that we've made so far on the ground floor. As you can see, there are some changes that I've made in the color, like using this medium azure for the tiles and using the dark azure for the first layer on the ground floor. On the design, it's actually white. So this is one way of changing up the mock even further, and in turn using parts that you would normally use on your set. For example, the pieces here that are in the medium and dark azure, I've not planned on using them for any other MOCs so far, and they're wasting up space as well as not being utilized in our Lego town. So instead of just having the building all white, I used it on the first layer of bricks, which actually is in the same color scheme as the floor for the upcoming levels. So by doing this, you end up utilizing and maximizing the parts usage. And remember, while you're doing this, you're also getting used to being resourceful and innovative, which would help you in aiding your MOCs as you go along and improving your craft. Still have some work to do here, especially for the door that I'll be using for the elevator, as well as some missing tiles. But overall, I'm happy that I was able to build the ground floor without needing to purchase a lot more pieces than I generally have to. Let's get on with the next level. And here's the progress on the middle floor. There's still a bunch of parts missing, but I think I can work around with what we have now here, as well as the parts that we have in our collection. So I'll continue on with this one and then also proceed with the third level and see if there's really that we can't find either in our collection or in the Lego town, in which case I will still buy them from our local vendors. At the end of the day, I'm not going to regret buying parts that I really need, but only when I've exhausted all my options. And the fun part about what I do is I get to go and look at the different MOCs that I have before, see the insides and sort of review how I made them, and then optimize so I can get the parts that I need to support and build the other MOCs. Here we are with the medical clinic at about 70%, I guess, in its completion. And I'm really happy that I've been able to utilize the parts that I have so far here, with a few more pieces remaining to be able to fill up this portion of the building. A nice thing that I was able to do and realize is actually we have enough space here in front to be able to place the ambulance and to reverse right in front of the entrance of the medical clinic in case of emergency. So it has enough width to accommodate the ambulance, which is great. Even if we have another modular on this side, we still have enough space. So the next part will be the fun part, where I try to find the remaining parts and maximize this areas, maximize the parts usage, wherein I could check my other MOCs and see what I can do in terms of utilization of the parts. Don't worry, no official Lego sets will be harmed in this video. And here we have the medical clinic at about 80% complete. The only parts missing are a few panels here and a few more bricks, as well as some red bricks and a few plates to add on top of this one. But considering that we've used most of the parts in our collection, I'm very happy that I'll be able to just purchase a few parts rather than buying a lot of parts and having some of these unused parts just in storage. So I'll order the remaining pieces from Bricklink, and then I'll finish this all up, and we'll be able to see our first medical clinic in the Lego town. Also, just to show you the interior, it actually turned out better than I expected and better than what I designed it initially. Because I used several pieces from my collection, I was able to create more cabinets, shelves, and add more pieces to it. And then also on the middle floor, here you have the maternity room and the toilet. I'll have to put up a door here. And here we have the ground floor, where you have some medical supplies, medicines, equipment there, and then you have some sandwiches on this side and water. So even though it's not a big hospital, it does have sort of a complete setup in a half-base plate. Good to have that much detail in a smaller area, so we can put more buildings, right? Finally, after weeks of procrastinating and trying to optimize the parts that I have in my Lego town, I finally purchased the remaining parts for the medical center. And it's just a few red pieces and white bricks to finish off the side of the building, as well as a few medium azure plates. As you can see, there's still one piece there and probably a door on the inside that's missing, but overall it's done, and I will just wait for the availability of the door for me to be able to 100% finish this MOC. Anyway, it's already usable in my Lego town, and I like this part here where you have enough space here to create a scene, and also in case we want to do a mirror build or place a different modular here, we can definitely do that to make this one a full 32 by 32 building. Also, as you can see here, I may have found a solution to be able to use the Friendship Treehouse elevator, wherein I use it to get a plate with some panels for the elevator, and let's see if this works. Bear with me, this might take a while. I'll cut to where it's already up. And here it is. It still has some hiccups where it gets stuck a little bit before we could 100% pull it out, or at least take it to the level where it needs to be. But I'll work on it in the coming days or weeks to make sure that this one isn't too tight. I'll probably switch this to the other side so it has a little bit more space to move inside and not be stuck, although I might end up using round bricks here or round panels, something to that extent, so I'll be able to fully utilize a working elevator for the medical clinic. Anyway, it's a small detail that I can improve on later, but at least I'm happy now with how this modular building has turned out. And considering we don't have an official hospital modular building in our Lego town, and also an official set coming from Lego, this is the best one that I could come up with for now, So there we have the overview of our medical center, and it's now placed temporarily here just in front of the Disney train station. I will still look for its long-term position or area in our Lego town, which would probably be on the top level because it needs to have access to a road. Unfortunately, here we only have access to the train but no roads, so we need the road for our ambulance here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a comment down below on the suggestions that you can share for improving this MOC and the other MOCs that we have, and click the like button and the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified when I release new videos. Anyway, until next time, I hope you have a good day. Bye!